it's Chloe here. As you guessed from the title, today is going to be a very exciting video. We're making steam buns, but not just any old steam buns. We're making Mandalorian-inspired steam buns. I just finished watching season 2 of The Mandalorian and I loved it. Let me just say, the finale was awesome. And I'll try not to spoil anything here, but if you haven't watched it, go watch it, seriously! So today is going to be the best of both worlds. We're making 2 kinds of steam buns. The first one will be a Mando-inspired steam buns, and I'm sure Pedro Pascal will be very proud of this one, because although the Mandalorian doesn't eat a lot on screen, I'm sure he needs a lot of protein for all of that muscle. So for Mando, we're going to make a pork-filling steam bun. The second will be a Baby Yoda, the child, Grogu steam bun, and this one, because of his sweet little character, will be a matcha and red bean filling steam bun. We have lots to do, so let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with our dough. I have half a cup of milk here, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of white sugar. And then I'm going to microwave this milk for about 30 seconds so that it's warm for our yeast. Now I'm adding half a teaspoon of active dry yeast to the warm milk. Give it a quick stir, and then we'll let this proof for about 10 minutes. Add 1 1/4 cup of flour to my bowl, and I'm going to add the milk mixture right into. I'm going to give this a quick mix before throwing it onto my stand mixer. By mixing it, I've given the dough a little head start to get incorporated. Now I'm going to knead it for 10 minutes on medium speed. After kneading for 10 minutes, our dough ball is super smooth and supple. I'm going to naturally color this half to be green for our Baby Yoda the child buns. To do that, I used this matcha green tea powder and made a paste with a little bit of water. I added the paste to the dough and now I will knead for about 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm switching to my trusty board because the stand mixer was having a little bit of trouble. But for my second half of my dough, I need to color this to be a grayish color to be like Mando's uniform, his Beskar armor. For that, I'm going to use a little bit of soy sauce to color this dough. I'm going to add about half a teaspoon and work it in by hand. I probably should have had the forethought to make 2 batches in different colors instead, because trying to color it after it'd been fully formed was quite a difficult task. Anyways, this is our final result. This is the matcha bun that was colored with green tea matcha powder. It looks quite good on camera, but to me it looks a little bit faint actually. And then for our Mando buns, I think we're gonna have to be a little creative and imaginative here. I ended up using dark soy sauce to color this into 2 different shades of what I had hoped would be gray. But let's just consider season 1 Mandalorian before he got his new shiny Beskar silver armor and still had his older armor that was brown in color. I'm gonna let this dough rest under a damp towel for over an hour to let the dough rise. In the meantime, let's make our pork filling. First, we're gonna marinate our pork. I have half a teaspoon of white pepper, but you can use black pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of minced ginger, 1 stalk of chopped scallions. I'm gonna add all of that now first. 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, a tablespoon of oyster sauce, a tablespoon of rice wine, and 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. Finally, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of water. Give it all a good mix. Okay, it's been over an hour now. I had some errands to run, so I was letting our little dough babies take a long nap. They have more than doubled in size. We're first going to start with our matcha red bean buns. We're going to take a very soft little dough baby onto here. For the rest of the dough, I'm going to leave it under the damp towel until ready. I cut my dough into 4 equal pieces. I'm going to roll it into a log, fold it upon itself, and roll it out again. This is just to smooth the dough out a little bit after it's been resting for so long. Make each one into a nice round ball. 3 of these to make our bun and 1 of these to make the features of the ears. I don't have a proper bun / dumpling rolling pin, but I do have this. Try to flatten this, focusing on the edges and leaving the center to be a little bit thicker. Okay, now that it's flattened out, I have my pre-made red bean paste here. Take a tablespoon and put it in the center. After that, just work out a little bit of the imperfections, rolling it to seal properly. I took the 4th dough ball and cut it into 6 pieces to be the ears for my Baby Yoda. I am going to use water to stick it onto the sides. Pray and hope that it stays. Now the buns are really starting to look like the child. Look how point and cute these ears are. Ta-da! They are so cute, but they kind of remind me of, you know, the Toy Story aliens, those green little men? Kind of remind me of them right now, but they're both cute. I am going to put this in my steamer basket and we'll steam it on medium-high heat for about 10 minutes. Okay, 9 minutes in the steam bath later, we have our buns. But for the finishing touches, I have some melted chocolate here that I want to use for the facial features.
First, I tried to use a skewer to paint on the features. As you can tell, I executed this with the excellent precision of a grade schooler. Hoping to have better luck, I switched over to a piping bag filled with melted chocolate chips. Midway though, I started to struggle as the chocolate was hardening in the bag. Still, I thought I made this look immensely easy to decorate, didn't I? I truly struck inspiration when I realized that Baby Yoda has characteristically large eyes, which I think I captured immaculately in this last rendition.
I'm going to start working on my Mando buns here. Same ordeal. I have my lighter colored and my darker colored doughs. One is going to be his helmet and the other one is going to be the visor. I did the same thing as before. This time I divided it into 3 pieces and rolled it out into flat discs. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of filling in and squeeze it shut. Okay, so let's jump ahead to the finished Mando buns. Let me just preface. This is an opportunity to learn and grow, to challenge myself to be more creative as well as to improve my techniques in making bao. I have to admit that I struggled here artistically. That being said, I'm going to reveal my Mandalorian design. A, it's not the right color. It is brown instead of the beautiful shiny Beskar silver. B, I'm not sure that I can convince anyone that this looks like a helmet. You know what? I'm still learning and I'm sure these are still gonna taste great. We're gonna steam them, same as before, 9 to 10 minutes in the steamer, and we'll see how they turn out afterwards. And we're done! I have 2 different kinds of baos here. I am extremely proud. I have my Baby Yoda Grogu buns and my Mandalorian looks more like Angry Bird buns. I'm really excited to dig into these because I've waited quite a while to eat them. Let us start with the pork bun. Here is our pork filling. Okay, now I'm gonna give it a try. The pork filling is really good. Super juicy. I would have liked the bao to be fluffier. I may have over kneaded a little bit. Because of the soy sauce, it's saltier than a bao is typically. Probably would have used food coloring instead. At least this works as a natural dye. I still think it's really good, especially for a first try. I've never made bao before. Now let's try the matcha red bean buns. Here's the red bean filling. Now I'm gonna give it a try. It's sweet and savory and nutty. I love red bean. I bought this from the store, so that saves a lot of time and offers a lot of convenience. The bao itself doesn't actually carry any of the matcha flavor, but I'm glad that the green did turn out a little bit. I'm happy about that. Okay, so overall, I think these baos were a surprise. They were a fun experiment. Of course, I believe that a lot of improvement could have been made here, but let's focus on the positives. Both baos had a really good filling. The texture of the actual bun is springy and fluffy, although I wish it was a little bit fluffier. Finally, it was just really fun to do. I love The Mandalorian, so this really is the best of 2 worlds. That being said, anyone who is incredibly courageous and willing to try this at home, I would recommend using a food dye or putting in the ingredients such as matcha or soy sauce earlier into the mixing process. I think that would have been easier and not have overworked the dough. Another thing I would recommend is that although this baby is super duper cute, I would have maybe made the features out of dough instead of adding chocolate, although the chocolate did taste really good. Anyways, I have a lot of bao here, so I'm going to go and share that with my family. If you like this video, please be sure to hit the like button. Leave a comment down below about whether or not you would try this, what recommendations you would leave for me, how you might mix it up, have different kind of filling, different kind of characters. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks, have a good night.